The ocean is silent, but beneath its surface lies a world of tension, fear, and unseen danger. In the years before the Second World War erupted into full chaos, Germany began building a new kind of naval weapon, submarines designed to travel farther, strike harder, and disappear without a trace. Among them was U-25, one of the earliest long-range U-boats of the Kriegsmarine, commissioned in 1936 and built in Bremen. At first glance, it looked like a predator of the deep, its conning tower marked with a striking shark mouth and skull insignia that made it instantly recognizable. But beneath that aggressive exterior, U-25 carried flaws that would follow it into every mission. It belonged to the Type 1A class, an experimental design meant to extend Germany's reach into the Atlantic Ocean. These submarines were powerful, but they were also difficult to control, slow to dive, and less stable than the models that would come later. In underwater warfare, where seconds could mean the difference between life and death, these weaknesses created constant tension for the crew. And yet, despite the risks, the men aboard U-25 carried out their duties, knowing that each patrol could be their last. Life inside the submarine was harsh and unforgiving. Dozens of sailors lived in a confined steel tube, surrounded by engines, torpedoes, and the constant smell of fuel and sweat. Fresh air was rare. Privacy didn't exist. Every sound, from the hum of machinery to the distant echo of enemy ships, carried meaning. The ocean pressed against the hull with crushing force, a reminder that just beyond those walls was a depth that could swallow them instantly. Sleep came in short, restless moments, often interrupted by alarms or sudden maneuvers. Still, the crew adapted, forming a tight bond built on trust, discipline, and shared danger. As the war began, U-25 was sent into the North Atlantic, where German U-boats were tasked with disrupting Allied shipping routes. These early missions were part of a larger strategy that would later evolve into the deadly Battle of the Atlantic. U-25 hunted merchant vessels, searching for targets in the vast, unpredictable ocean. Each encounter required careful planning: approach silently, strike quickly, and disappear before enemy escorts could respond. But nothing ever went exactly as planned. The submarine's slow dive time made it especially vulnerable to aircraft patrols. When spotted from above, every second counted. Alarms would sound, and the crew would rush to submerge, hoping to vanish beneath the waves before bombs or gunfire could reach them. Even underwater, danger never faded. Allied ships used depth charges, explosives designed to detonate at specific depths, turning the ocean into a violent battlefield. Explosions would shake the submarine, lights would flicker, and the hull would groan under pressure. In those moments, survival depended on skill, luck, and the strength of the vessel itself. Despite these challenges, U-25 managed to carry out several successful patrols. The crew demonstrated determination and resilience, navigating both mechanical limitations and the ever-present threat of enemy forces. They became part of the early wave of U-boat operations that tested strategies, learned from mistakes, and paved the way for future missions. But with each patrol, the risks remained unchanged, and perhaps even grew. In August 1940, U-25 set out on what would become its sixth patrol. The North Sea was a dangerous place, filled not only with enemy ships, but also with hidden mines, silent weapons drifting beneath the surface, waiting for an unsuspecting vessel. There were no warnings, no signals, no chance to react. At some point during that mission, U-25 struck one of these mines. The explosion was sudden and devastating, tearing through the submarine with unstoppable force. In the confined space of a U-boat, there was no escape. Within moments, the vessel was lost, sinking into the depths along with every member of its crew. There were no survivors, no final messages, only silence. The shark mouth that once symbolized power and intimidation vanished beneath the waves, becoming a ghost of the early U-boat fleet. Today, the story of U-25 stands as a reminder of the dangers faced by those who fought beneath the ocean's surface. It represents a time when technology was still evolving, when every mission was uncertain, and when survival depended on more than just strength. It depended on chance. Because in the end, the ocean does not forgive mistakes, and it does not remember names.